Hello everyone. I hope all of you are keeping well and everyone at your place is healthy. Welcome to my YouTube channel Aditi Jain. If you still have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly subscribe. And here is a small timetable that I have made so that all of you can be updated. So don't forget to connect with me on Tuesday for a video for grade 10th and on Thursday for a grade 12th video, and Sundays are our lazy days, so that is why there will be a surprise video on Sunday. And this Sunday I have uploaded a video talking about the netiquettes for online learning. Please make sure that you have watched that video. It's a very special topic since all of us are learning from home. These netiquettes that I have shared with all of you, they are very important. Do watch that video and share your comments in the chat box. So the topic for today is grade 12th video, and that is the first lesson of Flamingo. The name of the lesson is the last lesson. It's quite ironic, no? We are doing the first lesson and it is actually titled as the last lesson. The lesson is by Alphonse Daudet. In today's video, we'll be reflecting on the lesson. We will be having a holistical view of the lesson, and we'll be looking at the chapter in a nutshell. We'll be looking at the summary, we'll be looking at the characters, we'll be looking at the plot, we'll be looking at the themes, and there will be lots and lots of brainstorming questions which I will be putting forward in front of you all, so that all of you can think out of the box, all of you can analyze, all of you can critically think. Because understanding the story is one thing, but analyzing the characters and then forming your own analysis of the characters and their actions is what studying and decoding a story or a novel or a poem is all about. So let's develop this habit from the very beginning and let's see how it goes. Let's dive into the video. To put the long summary of the chapter in a very short space, I would just say that the lesson talks about the importance of one's mother tongue. Here we can see through the character of a little boy, Franz, that we only realize of a certain thing when we don't have the access to that thing. This is a very natural phenomena. Once we have things in our hand and once we know that okay, we can do this, till that point of time we are not bothered about the existence of those things. In simple words, हमें हमेशा किसी भी चीज़ की इम्पॉर्टेंस तभी पता लगती है जब वो चीज़ हमारे पास नहीं होती. Similarly, in this lesson also, Franz realizes the importance of his mother tongue only and only when the chance of learning his language is no longer with him. Now you can look at a small map that I'm displaying on the screen. The map talks about France in the year 1870 to 1871. This is the time when the story is set, because the story is set in the Franco-Prussian War. You can have a look and maybe find out the districts of Lorraine and Alsace, and if you will know the places, then you will definitely know why the problem was there. We'll know more about the problem soon as we go into the video. Now let's look at what could be the possible themes and what could be the possible motives used in the lesson. You would see the concept of procrastination. You would see how language is a catalyst for freedom. Catalyst means an agent. You will see the themes of discipline, education, servitude and patriotism. All these traces can be found in the entire lesson. In the lesson, we will see Franz as the main character. He is a small boy and he is reluctant to go to the school because there is a test in the school and he is not prepared with the test. He's just a quintessential kid, but something very strange is waiting for him in the school, and we'll just get to know what unusual scenario happens in the school once we read more about his life, his day. And we also have the character of Mr. M. Hamill. He's a very strict school teacher and he is a French teacher, and he has been teaching French from the last 40 years in the same school. But for some reason, he's very regretful about his entire tenure. We will see village people and soldiers also, minor characters Now, the concept over here is about language. So, in the entire lesson, we will know about two languages. One language is French, that is their mother tongue, and the other language that is being imposed on them, that is German. Just keep this in your mind, and we'll just understand the concept in the next 30 seconds. I started my video by telling you that Franz is a school boy, and he's very reluctant to go to school because there's a test of participles. He is not ready to go to school for two reasons. Number one, he is not prepared for the test, and he's sure that Mr. M. Hamill, that is the strict teacher, he will be very very angry at him, and he will be getting a scolding of his life. And the second reason why he's not ready to go to school is also that he's late. Now he's also late, and also he's not prepared for the test. That is why he's very very scared, and he thinks of maybe bunking the school. But somehow he's just not able to bunk the school, and he just keeps on running towards the school. And when he goes, in the way there's a town hall and there's a bulletin board over there. That is the place where he or the other country people, they see every kind of news that is there on that particular day. The town hall was very crowded, but he really was not having even a single minute to wait there and look for what the information was all about. So he ignored the information, and he just kept on running to reach to school in time. Before moving forward, let's just brainstorm a little bit and let's see. Do you think that Franz will reach the school in time? Do you think that Franz will perform well in the test? Is he going to score well? And if he's not going to perform well, and he's also not going to reach the school in time, will Mr. M. Hamill be scolding him? Think about all these questions and send your questions in the chat box. I will be happy to see all of your out of the box questions. Looking forward. Contrary to what all you must be thinking, Franz was absolutely shocked when he reached the school, because the school was not like the school that used to be on the every other day. When you think about school, you will always think about chaos, you will always think about commotion, people talking, desks moving, things happening, laughing, giggling, and all of that. But on that particular day, the moment he entered the school, everything was absolutely quiet. There was not even a single desk that was moving. There was pin drop silence. He thought that I am late, and in order to save myself from Mr. M. Hamill's anger, I am going to take the help of the commotion that will be there, and I will slyly go and take my seat, and nobody will notice me. But on that particular day, since it was all so still and so quiet, it was very obvious for him to be noticed, for him to get noticed by Mr. M. Hamill. And on the top of the surprising things that happened with him was that Mr. M. Hamill noticed that he was late. Then also he did not scold him. Instead, he told him to just take his seat, and he also told him that we were just beginning without you. Take your seat and then we will begin. Soon enough, Franz settled down, and after settling down, he realized that Mr. M. Hamill was actually wearing his special green silk embroidered dress. This dress was special because he used to wear this dress only on some special days. For instance, inspection days, exam days, prize distribution. So this was kind of a special dress. Franz was again surprised to see this. And when Franz further looked all around the class, he observed that the last benches, which were always supposed to be empty, now actually were occupied by some village people. There was the old hosier who was sitting, and the former mayor was also there, former postmaster was also there, and everyone was very sad. There was a kind of a morbid atmosphere in the entire class. Franz was absolutely surprised to see all of those things. Now let's just brainstorm once again. Why do you think the school was so unusual? What was actually going on? And why were the last benches occupied by the villagers? Was it something special? Was it something happy? Was it something sad? Think about all of these answers and send your answers to me in the chat box. I will be happy to read all of your out of the box answers. Now we come to the plot where actually I'm going to reveal what actually happened. So M. Hamel said, "My children, this is the last lesson I shall give you. The order has come from Berlin to teach only German in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. The new master comes tomorrow. This is your last French lesson. I want you to be very attentive." So, this was the sad news that has happened. This was the news that came into light that M. Hamel was delivering, or M. Hamel will be delivering, the class that he was supposed to deliver as the last French class. Now we will brainstorm further. Let's see. Do you think that the revelation that was there, will that revelation be making Franz happy? Do you think M. Hamel was happy? Can you just guess what could be the reason behind the morbid atmosphere? I have already told you the answer, so there's no point of getting the third one wrong. Feel free to send your answers in the chat box, and I will be happy to read all of your out of the box answers. I'm sure all of you must have sent in your answers. Let's move on with the story. The next thing, if all of you are thinking that Mr. M. Hamel's departure will make Franz very, very happy because he was not at all fond of the teacher, then you are absolutely wrong, because M. Hamel's departure made Franz very, very sad. These words were very, very shocking to him. It appeared like a thunderclap to him. When he thought that M. Hamel was actually about to leave, all the cranky behavior of his just disappeared, just dissolved. When this news was revealed to him, he then understood why the town hall was so crowded. This was the news that was up at the town hall. He understood why M. Hamel was dressed in his special clothes, because it was his last day. He understood why the village people occupied the last seat. They did so in order to express their gratitude towards a teacher who served in the same place teaching French from the last 40 years. His head, his mind, his heart was overwhelmed with emotions, and he was just lost in his own thoughts. And then suddenly he heard that his name was being called out, and Mr. M. Hamel asked him a question. He thought that he's going to do well and he will not make a mistake, but then also he was just not able to answer the question that the teacher asked, and he felt ashamed of himself. He felt ashamed because from the last so many years he was learning, but still he did not learn anything. But to his surprise, again, M. Hamel did not scold him. Instead, he talked to students about how always we procrastinate things. He told that, always we think that it's okay, we'll do it tomorrow, we have a lot of time, it's okay, we'll do it after some time. But the point here is, do we really have time? These people also thought, these students also thought that हमारे पास बहुत टाइम है, हम फ्रेंच पढ़ लेंगे, अभी तो बहुत टाइम है, हम कर लेंगे. Now just imagine, they don't have that opportunity to learn French at all. I hope this point was also clear to everyone. Now we will look at some brainstorming questions and analyze. Consider Franz a real Frenchman. What do you think? Is he a real Frenchman? He is not aware about his mother tongue. Will you really call him a Frenchman? Do you think it is important to learn one's language? What, according to you, are the ill effects of procrastinating things for the future? These are very, very general questions. Think about it, think out of the box, and then you know the drill. Let's move on with the story. When Franz was not able to answer the question, everyone felt sad. M. Hamel, instead of scolding him, told him not to feel sad. Not only that, he instead talked about how they as people have escaped from the responsibility of learning the language. He told that it is not only your fault, it is your parents' fault as well, because they wanted you to work on the mills so that they can have a good amount of money. They also said that villagers were not able to finish up their school. They did not give the language its due importance. He also said that I, being a teacher, I also have not taught you well. Whenever I wanted to go for fishing, I always used to declare a holiday, and whenever I wanted to plant give water to my plants, I would send you for that. I never told you to sit and memorize your lessons. So Mr. M Hamill is apparently feeling guilty for not teaching them well, is apparently feeling remorseful for not having the desired results even after he taught for the last 40 years. Then also he was not able to create good French speaking people. So all of them as a community, they are considering themselves as a failure because now another language will be taught to them and they will have to do that. They will have to let go of their own language. Then only they'll be able to understand more of their own. Apart from accepting all of this, Franz also considered himself at fault because he always have thought that learning French is a burden. The books are very heavy, the subject, the syllabus is very difficult, it's very vast. But now when M. Hamill taught the last lesson, he was able to understood each and everything. True that M. Hamill taught amazingly well because he wanted to give away everything that he had in the last lesson. See, you can say that M. Hamill was kind of feeling scared. Then only he wanted कि जितना मुझे आता है मैं वो सारा जाने से पहले पढ़ा के चला जाऊँ. Not only the characters are overwhelmed with emotions, they are also feeling guilty. They are also in a fear of losing out something. And here something is their own language. एम हैमिल ने सिर्फ लोगों पे एलिगेशंस नहीं लगाई, उसने सिर्फ ये नहीं बोला कि इसकी गलती थी उसकी गलती थी. इंस्टेड इन द लास्ट लेसन he said that French is the most clear and the most logical language. He also told the students that it is very important to hold on to your language, to your mother tongue, because somehow your mother tongue is a symbol of freedom. अगर आपको अपनी लैंग्वेज आती होगी, if you will know your language, then you will stand apart from everyone. Now all of you know it is the time for brainstorming questions. So your first question is how Franz actually felt. This was all very unexpected. How did he actually feel? Do you think that all the characters involved are overwhelmed with emotions? Are they just replete with emotions? Also comment on how do you think language symbolizes your identity. Is language and identity connected with each other? Are they both the different parts of the same coin? Moving on with the story, after they were done with the grammar lesson and all that, tips came in. There came a lesson in writing, and on that particular day M. Hamill distributed brand new copies to everyone, and it was very amazing to see how everyone got into work within the next second. There was not even a single beetle that could distract the students at that point of time. As soon as they received their notebooks, everyone got to work and they just started practicing their lettering. Now Franz was absolutely distracted and there was a pigeon cooing out of the window panel, and Franz instantly thought, will they make them sing in German, even the pigeons? You might think that this is such a baseless comment and how can someone make the pigeons coo in German, but this comes back again to the idea of how language was forcefully enforced upon the people of Lorraine and Alsace, how language was imposed on them externally. They were not at all willingly accepting German as the first language, but it was enforced. This small thought just shows the helplessness of the people of Lorraine and Alsace, how they could not do anything of their own and how their wish was negligible. It did not matter at all. Now, while he was observing everything, he also saw how Mr. M. Hamill was just motionlessly gazing at the blackboard, gazing at the students. Probably he must be collecting all his memories. And while they were sitting and doing their work, it was very apparent to hear M. Hamill's sister packing all of his stuff upstairs. The movement could be all heard. Suddenly the church bell struck 12 and it was the time for the class to get over, and M. Hamill was so choked that he could not say anything in the end. Instead of saying anything, he wrote on the board, Vive la France, which means long live France.
This action of his absolutely expresses his patriotism towards the nation, towards French, towards France, and how happy he was being associated with that, and how sad he was while leaving it. So, all of this gesture, his entire life was surrounded around the language of French, but then now he cannot do that anymore. With all the regrets, with all the memories, he dismisses the class. Lesson also ends with him dismissing the class. I hope all of you understood whatever I explained. If not, then re-watch the video. Absolutely fine. And before going away, there is one activity for you. Make sure that you do it. And the activity question is: the last lesson shows traces of linguistic chauvinism. Comment. I have also written the meaning of the term linguistic chauvinism. Read that with the help of the internet, infer whatever it could mean, analyze, read it thoroughly, and then whatever are your answers, feel free to send them in the chat box and I will be happy to read. You can also use my email ID to send me the answers. Once you will be done watching the video and understanding the lesson, read the chapter, and once you are done with both the things, you can play a Kahoot quiz. The link is in my description, and don't forget to comment me down your scores. I would be happy. India especially and the world is a hub of languages, and every language is a nation's identity. But positivity and kindness have no languages, therefore, spread those things. These are the things that we require in the current time. Spread positivity, respect each another, respect each other's language, and spread unity. Don't forget, I come up with new video on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Stay connected. I would be uploading more such videos which are totally driven to English literature. I'm hopeful that you would like them. Bye.